Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky D. Pile driving geeks. Since 1973, the biggest mark in the IWC. What a show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. NXT UK is dead. Dead. As dead as the nights in which Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Choo, they were wrestling in their pajamas, folks. As dead as the night. I don't know how anybody watches this show, man, really. But then we get Bruce Prichard saying he's never written an NXT show. Oh my God, Bruce, you're a goddamn comedian, bro. I never heard anything more ridiculous. Anyway, we're gonna do things a little bit differently here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very special sponsor for tonight's show. You can call JD a shill if you want. I don't give a shit. He doesn't care either. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the regularly scheduled programming, tonight's show is sponsored by our great friends over at Raid Shadow Legends. I'm a master at Raid, bro, let me tell you. You want to talk about Chris Jericho being a wizard, man? Mean Marky D is a goddamn wizard. All right, enough of me, man. This episode of Off the Script is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
All right, guys, you and I, let's play a game. Let's see if you can guess what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of a video game that has global PvP, massive PvE boss battles. I would give you 3 guesses, but I'm betting you already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. If you've heard of Raid Shadow Legends, you know it's got a ton of champions, over 600 in the game now, but it's also got an insane variety of bosses as well. Let's put one of those bosses in the spotlight today. Let's talk about Hellraiser the Dragon, the guy from the opening cutscene in Raid and the occupant of the Dragon's Lair dungeon. This dragon's got 2 main tricks, Terrible Breath and a host of debuffs. If you guys want a chance at beating him, you're gonna need to clear the debuffs and put up shields if you want to tank Hellraiser's breath attack. Otherwise, bring heavy hitter champions that can rip away huge amounts of health in a very short time. You could also do heavy damage with HP burn and poison debuffs, as Hellraiser has absolutely massive HP. And this month, Raid's got a non-stop schedule of special events and activities, including Forge Pass Season 3, with some amazing rewards on offer, including a limited edition artifact set. And if that's not enough, Raid's bringing out some new champions, along with some awesome-looking champion skins for the incredible Madame Ceres. And that's not all. Later this month, Raid is giving everybody's favorite champion the upgrade he deserves. You might have seen the struggle for awesomeness in some of Raid's hilarious videos, but finally, Death Knight is becoming a legendary champion. It's something we've all been waiting for, and I can't wait to see how Ultimate Death Knight turns out.
You got it. Ultimate Death Knight, coming August 2022.
This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen, you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion, Tyrell, 200,000 in silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. And all this treasure will be waiting for you right here as you see on screen. Player rewards will be available for the next 30 days and only for new players. I want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video, and remember, please click the link in the description below.
Like a poison deep in my mind. You're like Please swap it out for something else, man. It's terrible.
No! No, I will not. You don't like it? The mute button exists. NXT tonight, ladies and gentlemen. NXT tonight. Not bad. Not bad. We got Wagner versus Tyler Bate. Damn good match tonight, man. Tyler Bate's awesome. Gotta lose the hair, though, bro. Gotta lose the hair, man. I prefer sophisticated, handsome-looking Tyler Bate. Wendy Choo and Tiffany Stratton in the main event tonight. Lights out. I was wondering what a lights-out match would be. They wrestled without the lights on. So that's what we got. Get him out! The Yankees beat the Mets 4-2. And also, Bruce Prichard. Wait till you hear this story, man. Oh my goodness, man. Bruce. What a fucking comedian, bro. I didn't know Bruce Prichard was auditioning for stand-up. We got a loaded show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the OTS Beer Garden. I'm fired up tonight, man. I'm fired up. And I got one question for you. Like Tony D. Santos, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Is AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT post show for August 23rd, 2022. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday evenings, wherever you may be. What a win there, bro. I hate them both, but I'm a New York Yankees fan for the last two nights, bro. Beat the Mets, sweep them, beat the Mets, sweep the Mets. Love it. Love it, man. Now we're 2 games back. I thought the season was over after they got fucking swept at, Shea Stadium, Citi Field. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Beat the Mets. Sweep the Mets. Awesome. I don't like you Yankees either, man. You guys are a bunch of fucking savages, okay? Don't like you, but I respect you. The Mets are playing good this year. I'll give them that. But I don't think the Mets are ready to take the East yet, bro. I may be eating my words more than likely, but we'll see come October. You know, the Braves usually choke when they get to the playoffs. Not last year, surprisingly, but we'll see what happens this year, man. They got a little bit of a hot streak going. NXT tonight, man. NXT. It was less about story tonight, and it was more about really pushing forward towards the future. It wasn't about the in-ring. It was about Worlds Collide. It wasn't about, you know, the typical bullshit that we usually see on NXT 2.0 on Tuesday nights. It was about unifying the titles and making sure everybody understands that the titles are now going to be unified. NXT UK is dead. Confirmed after tonight's show, unification matches will be had. We got the answer that we were looking for. Is it just going to be champion versus champion? Is there anything going to be on the line? We got the answer tonight, and the NXT World Championships, the UK and the NXT title, going to be merged into one. The women's title, same thing. Tag team titles, same thing. So NXT Europe, 2023, NXT UK, dead. Finished. Tyler Bate, confirmed to be going one-on-one with Bron Breakker. Should be an awesome match. I'm a big Tyler Bate guy. Have been for many years. I love the fact that people say, oh, he's too small. Meanwhile, this guy gave you one of the best matches in the history of WWE against Walter. How many years ago? Unbelievable match. You might have missed it because everybody was claiming that NXT was nothing more than an indie darling's wet dream. I thought it was fantastic. One of the best matches that I personally have ever laid eyes on. 45 minutes of glorious pro wrestling. So that's going to be the main event of Worlds Collide. Then we have Meiko Satamura. I did not expect to see her on the show tonight. That was a pleasant surprise, man. Meiko is great. Meiko is fantastic. She's the NXT UK Women's Champion. She will be going into a triple threat match against Mandy Rose and Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport, bro. JD approved. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, man. She's going to be a wonderful asset to the company. Awesome. And she's a good pro wrestler. I think that's going to be a tremendous match. I don't know what it means for Mandy Rose, but I would hope that Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction get called up to the main roster and we get a little bit of that black and gold on NXT on Tuesday nights via Meiko Satamura. Whether or not she stays, I don't know. That remains to be seen. And obviously Blair Davenport. And then we got the tag team title situation, which is a little bit, to me anyway, less exciting. You might think otherwise. You guys may think otherwise. I mean, you know, I haven't given a shit about the fucking fake smoking guns over here. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. I don't know who the fuck they're modeled after. Smoking Guns, APA, couple of hicks. I don't know. I was not a big fan of them from the beginning. They don't even have a tag team name. And they just look like a bunch of clowns. But then you got the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers are going to be unifying the tag team titles with Brooks and Jensen. And that looks to be the tag team. Or maybe we get a fatal four-way. I have no idea. Look like we may be headed towards a fatal four-way. The Pretty Deadly guys. We got Pretty Deadly and we got Schism. Joe Gacy's group. The former grizzled young veterans who Bruce Prichard fucking slaughtered with this ridiculous gimmick that he gave them, which I'll get to in a second. We may be getting a fatal four-way match at Worlds Collide. So I don't know what else is going to happen at Worlds Collide. Those are the three big matches that they are really building the show around. And that was the story of tonight. They wanted to let you know that we are unifying these titles. NXT UK is dead. So we will talk about that and how all of this came about on tonight's show. And we got a damn good main event with the ladies. Lights out. I didn't know what to expect with the lights out stipulation. Tiffany Stratton, Wendy Choo, and Tyler Bate got himself ready for Bron Breakker with a solid victory over Von Wagner tonight. We will go over all that right here on Off the Script. I appreciate you guys very much for joining me on your Tuesday evenings. I'm already looking forward to tomorrow, man. Never mind tonight. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. CM Punk and Jon Moxley. Oh, my goodness. We may be seeing the return of the Plainview, Long Island asshole himself. I can't wait. Should be a damn good night. Big night. Big night. Not only for Off the Script, but for AEW as well. Appreciate you guys joining me, man. Follow me on social media. Get ready for the big festivities tomorrow night at JDfromNY 206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. We are almost at 7,000 followers on TikTok, man. Thank you guys very much. Glad you're enjoying the little clips I'm putting up there on TikTok. Getting the wisdom out there to the TikTok wrestling fans. Smartening you all up, one video at a time. It's great. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. I see 325 likes, man. That's unacceptable. I mean, that's just pathetic. Unacceptable, man. I'm gonna have to ask you to get out. I need 750 minimum. If you guys think Blair Davenport is a asset, wonderful asset to NXT 2.0, man, I'm going to need you to hit that thumbs up. Seriously. Hit that thumbs up. 750 likes is the minimum. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. We are almost at 136,200 subscribers. Get those super chats in. We'll hang it at the end of the show. We already got a couple of new members tonight. We got Hurley Jones with a new membership. Thank you, Hurley Jones. Bushi Clementine with a new membership. And Brandon O Productions. Thank you guys very much. What the fuck are you gentlemen drinking tonight? Like you saw in the beginning, tonight's show sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. You guys know what to do. Hopefully you scan that QR code. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel, man. Ton of content up there. Monday Night Raw. We were live on Sunday night talking about the CM Punk and AEW drama that is unfolding backstage. I think we attacked it very well, man. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out on the homepage right now if you want any additional content from the podcast. We're going to start off with Comedy Hour, folks. Comedy Hour. Gonna make you laugh. It may make you laugh so hard that you end up crying. Bruce Prichard. My good old buddy Bruce Prichard. Gotta love him, man. I'm looking at his ugly mug right now. Bruce Prichard returns this week. I love how this is his first show back in how many months? Return this week with a brand new Something to Wrestle podcast with Conrad Thompson. The podcast king, Conrad Thompson. This week's show covered Bret Hart's run in WWE from 1994 and 1995. Bruce, in the middle of this show, said he never wrote one NXT show. He never wrote one NXT show. This is what he said, and I quote, I can't come out and say things when things are reported incorrectly. Of course you can't. You're a fucking WWE shill. You're a Vince McMahon shill for how many years? Of course you're not going to come out and say things are reported incorrectly. I can't come out and say things when things are reported incorrectly or just out falsehood and out lies. And sometimes it really irritates me, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not in a position where I can really comment on some of those things. Really now, I wonder why there, Bruce. I wonder why you can't comment on any of those things now, Bruce. I wonder why you gave this ridiculous statement that you did on your podcast, Bruce. But it's one of those things that those that choose to be negative and want to believe in the negative, then you're a negative person, and that's what you're going to do. So have at it. I'm not going to try and change anything else. But I do have to say, because it's something that people even internally would come to me with and make comments about, that I was writing NXT. I never wrote one NXT show in the history of my existence. I am a fan of NXT. I love NXT. Oh my God! Oh, Bruce! Bruce! Oh my goodness, man. You're a fucking comedian, Bruce. You may be the biggest comedian I've ever seen. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? This guy loves NXT. Oh my God, man. This guy's a fucking comedian, man. Holy shit, man. He should move from fucking whatever position he has now in WWE to fucking clown at the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Never wrote a fucking show in NXT. Are you fucking serious with this shit? Yeah, it's great. He talks about people going on their podcasts and lying. He's doing the same fucking thing right here. The same thing. The same thing. The same thing that he's accusing others of. Oh, it wasn't me. Wasn't me. Shawn Michaels comes out and says, well, if you think NXT 2.0 is bad, it's all on me. Blame me. Then you got Bruce Prichard coming out and saying, I never wrote an NXT show. I love NXT. I'm a fan of NXT, he says. Who the fuck wrote the show? Who wrote the show? Shawn Michaels didn't write the show. What do you think, we're fucking stupid? Shawn Michaels had nothing to do with NXT. There's no fucking way you're gonna make me believe that that man who worked alongside Triple H in the best years that this fucking brand has ever had puts on this shit on Tuesday night. No fucking way. No fucking way, man. You may get that across to a fucking half-assed idiot, a fucking retard, but not me, not them, not these people. I laughed my ass off at this quote. Laughed my legit ass off. He loves NXT. Really, Bruce? Really? You love NXT? You love NXT so much that you wiped the fucking slate clean in NXT. Pretended like black and gold wasn't a goddamn fucking thing, ever. You wiped away Triple H's legacy. You killed everything that Triple H did. Yet Bron Breakker, not once but twice, go out there and destroy the black and gold logo. Yeah, I'm sure Shawn Michaels did that, though, right? Somebody who loves the black and gold and is taking over NXT Europe. Now, I'm sure Shawn Michaels made that executive decision, Bruce. You say that you don't write the fucking show? The fact that that was left into the show is all I need to know that you're a fucking bullshit artist. You're a fucking liar. If it stayed in the show, if Shawn Michaels said no to that, which I'm betting every fucking bottom dollar I have, he said no, and he was against that, and you told him that that's what needed to be in the show. Bruce, I don't know how much of a fucking brain you have left that's still functioning, but to me, that's writing the show. You're the executive producer of the show. You tell them what needs to be in the show. I don't know what's going on there, Bruce, but to me, that's writing the show. Fuck out of here with this. Do not believe anything here. Do not listen to this man. Boycott his show. Don't listen to him. Get him out. Get him out. What a joke. So, none of the credible wrestling websites reported that Bruce Prichard was writing NXT. Of course not. They're in WWE's back pocket. You fucking can't. Of course they're not going to come out and say it. I was the only one who was saying it. And I was right for how many years? Where are my fucking flowers? Fightful and Meltzer and Alvarez and all these other fucking people that didn't say shit. Prichard was reported to have been overseeing the brand with Vince McMahon. Dave Meltzer reported last September that McMahon and Prichard would handle the marketing, the promotion, and direction of the brand, and that their role in booking may only be regarding those at the top. No matter what their role in booking was, top, bottom, middle, left, right, up, down, left, right, fucking sideways, 10 ways to Sunday. If their role in booking the company regarded only those at the top, it's writing the show! Fucking ridiculous. Do you know what this sounds like? This sounds like a man who's running afraid. This sounds like a man who is in fear of losing his job. This sounds like a man who's now trying to get on his hands and knees and suck the biggest fucking cock that a corporate stooge could possibly suck. Oh, I love NXT, Paul. Don't believe them. Maybe everybody will believe it if I go on a public forum like my podcast and say it to the general public. Fuck out of here. This man is a fucking habitual liar. Shawn Michaels never ran NXT, never wrote anything for NXT, only wrote anything for NXT when he was sitting next to Triple H, was HBK. Bruce Prichard, Nick Khan, John Laurinaitis, and Vince McMahon went in there and fucking killed NXT. He loves NXT, but he doesn't love it enough to leave it alone, right? He went in there and absolutely fucking gutted the brand, but he loves it. He loves it. Do not believe him. Do not believe anything this man says. He needs to be fired. After tonight, after I read this man needs to be fired. And I will sit there when he walks out the door and I will give him a fucking hefty clap and then tell him, get out! We don't need you anymore. What a fucking cocksucker. Don't believe anything this man has to say, ever. They're all liars. Go figure. A corporate fucking stooge, suit and tie, lying to the general public. Go figure. Now that I got that out of my system, I know you guys laughed just as hard as I did, man. Let's start at the top with NXT. Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker. He opens the show. He headed to the ring. NXT champion. He got a big win over JD, you know, the fake JD, JD McDonough, the Irish ace. I'm the New York ace, the real JD. Talking about JD McDonough's in-ring skills. Talking about how tough of an opponent he was. And then he went to Tyler Bate. Big strong boy chants rang out. He asked Bate to come to the ring to talk, and Bate's music played, and he joins Bron Breakker in the ring. Bate thanked Baker for the kind invitation and congratulated him on the win last week, also putting over JD McDonough. He's a tough guy. I've wrestled him many times. He's a great wrestler. Said Breakker was correct that Bate wasn't just there to collect air miles. He said that he was the proud flag bearer of the NXT UK Championship, the first NXT UK champion and the last. I couldn't think of a better way to kick things off than to unify these titles. Breakker said he knew exactly who Bate was and what made him a threat. He said he agreed there should be one NXT champion, and in 2 weeks when Worlds collide, let's make it champion versus champion, title versus title. Boy, they came out firing on all cylinders with this one, man. They wanted to let you know almost immediately that NXT UK was finished. It was shutting its doors. and that NXT Europe is going to be the brand moving forward. Looks like all the championships, starting with this one, will be unified. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means that NXT UK is finished. All the titles that were in NXT UK are now going to be consolidated into the North American branch of NXT. NXT Europe more than likely getting their own sets of championships. What they may be, I have no idea. But what happens here in this match? This is a very, very interesting match now that it is title versus title and a unification match. NXT UK is basically NXT. It was an extension of the black and gold that didn't really go anywhere because the pandemic basically killed all versions of NXT. NXT 2.0 was the brainchild of Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon, and the show has largely failed on Tuesday night. It has no essence of any black and gold anywhere. NXT UK is going to be that initial spark that takes the black and gold and injects some of that back into the brand. But it's not going to happen with Bron Breakker leading the way. I think we all know that Bron Breakker is ready for the main roster. Is he ready for the main roster? Probably not. But is he ready for the main roster? Yes. He's had 2 reigns as NXT champion, and there is no better man to drop that title to because, let's be real, Tony D'Angelo's not ready. Carmelo Hayes himself is getting called up to the main roster. I would love to see Tony D be a world champion at some point. He's not there yet. Von Wagner, I could see being a world champion. He's not there yet. They're going to need somebody with some NXT name value in front of this audience that is going to carry the brand after Bron Breakker. Tyler Bate is the perfect guy to do that. Tyler Bate is going to win the NXT Championship, and Bron Breakker is going to get called up to the main roster. That's my prediction. There's no reason why Bron Breakker should win this match. If Bron Breakker wins this match, then Tyler Bate is just another small indie midget, according to the marks online, another NXT wrestler with nothing to do down there. What the fuck did you call him over here for? You called him over here to win the NXT Championship. You called him over here so Bron Breakker can be moved up to the main roster. I think Tyler Bate is also ready for the main roster, but the brand is going to need a leader, and that leader is Tyler Bate. Mark my words, Bron Breakker is getting called up to the main roster. We may end up seeing Santos Escobar, Bron Breakker, and Carmelo Hayes all called up to the main roster. Carmelo Hayes may be the last of the call-ups, but I don't know who he drops that title to. That's the only lingering question on my mind right now. But Tyler Bate is going to win the NXT Championship, and Bron Breakker will be on the main roster. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen versus Gallus. This is Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. There were rumors that Mark Coffey and Wolfgang were going to get name changes. Gallus was going to get a completely different name change. According to sources, the edict of changing people's names is now dead, and WWE will no longer be doing what Vince McMahon did in changing people's names. PW Insider reported that Gargano was brought back. Last night, Johnny Gargano was brought back to WWE, and he didn't have a name change. If Vince McMahon brought Johnny Gargano back, which would not be a reality, but if he did, he would not be brought back as Johnny Gargano because that's his real name. He would probably give him a new stage name on Monday night, which is an indication that the previous edict issued by Vince McMahon regarding wrestlers not being allowed to use their real names and previous independent wrestling names is now gone. Now, I don't mind the edict. I don't. If you're an independent talent that's coming in that doesn't really have an established name for yourself, and you're in the WWE system, I don't mind if they change your name to give it a WWE presence, to give you a WWE presence. But you're not going to have Adam Cole come in and change his name. You're not going to have Keith Lee come in and change his name. You're not going to have Johnny Gargano come in and change his name. They are who they are because of what they did. And they did what they did with their names. You're not going to bring Johnny Gargano back after all that he did in the company, and we know him as Johnny Gargano, have him come into the company and change his fucking name. It doesn't make any sense. It would basically be what they did with Gunther, Walter. I know this guy as Walter for how many years? 800 days as NXT UK champion. He shows up on the main roster and his name is changed to Gunther. Marcel Bartel. They changed his name to Ludwig Kaiser. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's another one. We knew Pete Dunne. He was an integral part of the NXT UK brand. NXT, black and gold, was Pete Dunne. They called him up to the main roster. He got Scrappy Doo as a gimmick. Butch. Let me at him, Scoob! Now, but Bruce Prichard had nothing to do with writing the show, right? So I'm glad this edict is going away. So it may be an indication that Triple H has basically said, fuck you to that gimmick or that edict. When this edict was issued, many wrestlers underwent name changes. I just mentioned Pete Dunne, Gunther, Raquel, Rodriguez Gonzalez. You know, always smiling over there, Raquel. They turned her into Raquel Rodriguez, who smiles all over the place. Yeah, my dog just died, but I'm smiling, you know. My dog got run over by a speeding vehicle down the block. I'm smiling. Fucking ridiculous. Austin Theory, they changed his name to Theory because they cannot live in a world where Stone Cold Steve Austin and Austin Theory live together harmoniously. The memo only applied to the newer wrestlers. Regarding Gargano, the report noted that there was talk after the show that Gargano was flown in by WWE on their corporate jet into Canada so that fans wouldn't spot him in Toronto. Candice LeRae was not backstage with Gargano at Monday Night Raw. She may end up coming in as well. We don't know yet. So, that is that. So, Gallus, more than likely, is going to remain Gallus, and Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, and Joe Coffey are going to remain as who they are. So, this NXT Tag Team title match here, this NXT UK Tag Team title match, really wasn't much of anything. You know, I think Gallus is great. I do. I think all of them look very intimidating. They all look their part. I know Wolfgang has been there for quite a long time. So is Mark Coffey and Joe Coffey. All good guys. But I'm going to need a little bit more as to why I need to care about Gallus. What are they here for? Who are they? I'm going to need some backstory on them because, let's be honest, nobody here has been watching NXT UK. And we want to know why we need to care about Gallus and why they are here challenging already for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships outside of the fact that they are former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. This match was okay. It just was there. But it was all in the finish. The finish was very lame. Now, granted, it does build to what I mentioned before. It was a Fatal 4-Way match that was teased here. But Gallus could have really used a statement victory on Tuesday night tonight. A statement victory, not some lame fucking no finish here to set up a Fatal 4-Way at the pay-per-view. So Gallus was in control. Brooks and Jensen fought back. And all of a sudden we get a big brawl breaking out towards the end of this match. A big pull-apart brawl. And we had Wolfgang out there with Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey. And Lash Legend showed up. She brawled with Fallon Henley, who's a part of Brooks and Jensen's group, because they've been feuding. Pretty Deadly showed up, and they brawled with Briggs and Jensen until everybody was just counted out. Inside the ring, Diamond Mine showed up. They attacked Gallus because Gallus beat them up last week. This was a total, complete, nonsensical mess. Honestly. So it looks like we're getting a Fatal 4-Way between Diamond Mine, Pretty Deadly, Brooks and Jensen, and Gallus for the NXT and NXT UK Tag Team Championships to be merged and unified. The weakest of the title matches at the pay-per-view. So Grayson Waller. Yes, Bruce Prichard didn't write this show. we got a main roster segment on tonight's show with Grayson Waller hosting the Grayson Waller Effect. So he's out there. He's got this little podcast desk, sitting there with his phone, looking at his Instagram live feed. He's got a microphone in his hand. And it's like a Tonight Show set, little podcast set up there. So we had this little picture-in-picture deal where he was looking into his phone and looking at his phone, and then a live feed of the audience there inside the WWE Performance Center. His guest was Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews was his first guest on the Grayson Waller Effect. He asked Crews what it was like to be a clout chaser. Waller asked Crews about when he used to have an accent and native garb. Crews put it on and said, "Is this the accent you were talking about?" He went back to his real voice and said he was still a strong Nigerian warrior, but he got too caught up in his past. Waller said Crews was admitting to all these people that he's selfish. Crews said he knew himself now. Waller interrupted Crews multiple times throughout this while he tried to speak, blaming him for Diamond Mine having issues. Crews got up to go after Waller as he continued to, just talk over him. Waller asked how Crews was going to feel when he was run out of NXT by Waller. Crews asked Waller what it was like to be a low-budget version of The Miz. Not really the insult that I think we were all expecting, but maybe something a little bit more hard-hitting there by Apollo Crews. Low-budget Miz chants then rang out in the Performance Center. Waller asked how Crews feels about being a failure and not being on Mondays or Fridays anymore. Crews says, "I tell them that Dad was a champ on Mondays. Dad was a champ on Fridays. Bruce Prichard hated me on Mondays and Fridays. That's why I'm on Tuesdays." He didn't say that, but that's the reality of the situation. And he's definitely going to be a champ on Tuesdays. He laid out Waller with the punch and said, "And that is the Apollo Crews Effect." Nice little segment here. A little main roster-ish for my liking. Not really NXT, but I thought this was great. Waller is very good. He's got a great gift of gab. He's a great promo. Apollo Crews a little cringe at times, but he's always been a great performer. And I think these two are going to put on a great fucking match. That's what it really boils down to. It's going to be a great match. Grayson Waller is going to be better off for it wrestling Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews is going to put Grayson Waller in a position to make him really look good. And that's why this match is happening. Gallus and Pretty Deadly ran into each other backstage and argued. Pretty Deadly reminded them of who took their NXT Tag Team Championships in the first place. Another pull-apart brawl by officials as things got a little dicey backstage over the NXT Tag Team titles. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Robert Stone and put the lotion in the baskets, Von Wagner. Telling you right now, man, Von Wagner is becoming a slow but sure favorite on the show. I'm really digging the way that Robert Stone kind of goes in on these promos and gets all fired up and amped up. And then Von Wagner tells Robert Stone basically in oh so many words, "Shut the fuck up, I got this." And then he speaks. I like that. Von Wagner doesn't have the promo ability to do a whole fucking promo by himself. He speaks in sound bites, and that's the best way for him to operate right now. So Robert Stone takes half of it, and Von Wagner takes the other half. I think it's a great method. I do. He's a believable guy. He's got a great look. They really transformed him into something really nice, and I'm liking what's coming out of this. I think he's going to be a big deal. He's going to be a major player, Von Wagner. Keep an eye on Von Wagner. I don't know about the name. The name's a little suspect there. I still don't know what the fuck a Von Wagner is, but it's coming along. Javier Bernal. I don't know who this is. Apparently this guy's been in the Performance Center. I heard his name thrown around a little bit. I don't know who he is or where he came from, but Javier Bernal ran across a security guy and put himself over, referring to himself as Big Body Javi. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, he doesn't have a big body. Nowhere close to having a big body. Cameron Grimes and Javier Bernal, his debut match, went 2 minutes. Joe Gacy and the Dyad, they were standing up on the NXT Eagle perch above the ring. Grimes hit a drop kick, back body drop. Bernal didn't get all the way over, landed pretty stiffly off the back body drop. Grimes hit a super kick, did his to the moon, and then did the cave in. 1, 2, 3, 2 minutes for Cameron Grimes. Looks like we're getting Grimes and Joe Gacy at the pay-per-view. I don't know. Not enough time to see what Bernal is made of. And Cameron Grimes, you want to talk about people that are due for a main roster call-up, I think Cameron Grimes is more than ready. Blair Davenport. We got a little segment here with Blair Davenport. Previously, this is what we need. This is what we need for Gallus. Previously known as B. Priestley, and was formerly involved romantically with Will Ospreay. I thought they were still together. Lucky man. Or was a lucky man. Not anymore. Did an angle with him to ride her out of New Japan a couple years ago. I thought they were still together. She's about to take on Blair Davenport, Indi Hartwell. Indi Hartwell takes on Blair Davenport. Indi was buried. Buried. Not really buried, but pretty much owned in this match. Basically, told to go out there and make Blair Davenport look good. Just about 3 minutes or so. Hartwell, she threw some rights. She got a lariat in there. Spine buster and a roll-up by Hartwell. European uppercut, big boot by Hartwell. Hartwell went to the top, and Blair Davenport yanked her to the mat for 2. Davenport hit this finish, which looked to be a spinning neck breaker of sorts. But it did not look good at all for Indi Hartwell. It looked like it sucked. And Blair Davenport got the victory quickly over Indi Hartwell, and that was basically all she wrote. Indi Hartwell is sad. Blair Davenport, she wants the NXT Women's Championship. After the match, Davenport kicked Hartwell from the ring, took the microphone, referred to herself as the most menacing mistress in NXT. She said she was #1 contender in the UK, so she figures the NXT Women's Champion will do just fine for her. Mandy Rose came out, and she gets into the ring, and she said her reputation precedes herself. She said she is Mandy Rose, and Davenport was standing in Rose's ring, and you entered Mandy Rose's world. She said in her world, everyone follows her lead. She explained that she was the most dominant woman and dominant women's champion that NXT has ever seen, and she wanted respect on her name. All of a sudden, Meiko Satamura and her music plays. Everybody went crazy. They showed some of the geeks in attendance shocked that Meiko Satamura was there. She brought with her the NXT UK Women's Championship. And the talent in this ring between B. Priestley and Meiko Satamura with Mandy Rose was probably more than any other time since NXT 2.0 has been on Tuesday night. She said Mandy was not the most dominant women's champion. That would be her, the final boss. Rose put over Satamura as a true legend, but the best way to put respect on her name was to beat her. Satamura said at Worlds Collide, Rose could go for it. Champion versus champion with the final boss. Davenport obviously was still in the ring. She took offense to this, interjected and reminded both of them that she was the #1 contender. So don't leave me out. Meiko Satamura, by the way, she was met with shut the hell up chants in cells at the Performance Center. They could go fucking kick rocks, those geeks inside the Performance Center. Not the same group of people that were inhabiting Full Sail University. No way. Satamura then says, okay, triple threat match. She don't give a fuck. Meiko does not give a shit, man. She's going in there and she wants to fight. I'm looking forward to this match. I really am. It's going to be a very good showcase for what Mandy Rose can do. Going to be a great showcase to show you what's going to happen here with Meiko and Blair Davenport possibly being a part of the NXT women's division moving forward. What I see happening here is the reason why they made it a triple threat match is they want to really raise Mandy Rose's stock before they move her up to the main roster. This is legitimately the final stage for Mandy Rose. In my honest opinion, should be. I could be wrong. But the way I look at it, this is legitimately the final stage for Mandy Rose in NXT. She's done everything that this brand has required from her. She's going to drop that title. Meiko Satamura, I don't know. Everybody says that she runs a school and that it's going to be difficult for her to run the school and live in the States and work here in the States on NXT. I don't know if Meiko Satamura really fits into NXT 2.0. Working NXT UK was a convenient thing for Meiko. She put over some of the young talent over there. She worked close to home. Closer than the United States, anyway. But Mandy Rose, this is legitimately the final stage. The final boss in the final stage. You're going to get your shit in with Meiko. You're going to get your shit in with Blair Davenport. Meiko's going to put somebody over, and it's not going to be Mandy Rose. Not in win, anyway. Mandy's going to the main roster. Toxic Attraction's getting called up to the main roster. Blair Davenport's going to be your new NXT Women's Champion. And I don't know what they go from this and what they do next. But I could see Blair Davenport and Alba Fire as the next Women's Championship match. The former Kaylee Ray. So basically, they're going to be picking up exactly where NXT UK left off with the top-tier talent that was already there. And they're just going to put NXT and the Women's Championship on Blair Davenport and just play that out here on Tuesday night. That's what I see happening. There's no reason for Mandy Rose to win this match. She's done everything, and she's reinvented herself, and she's proven herself on Tuesday night. There's nothing more for her to do. This is the final test before they really call her up and have Toxic Attraction go to the main roster. Meiko, I don't think she stays. She doesn't fit the brand. Blair Davenport, here to stay. She's the one that's going to be there full-time. She's going to be the new women's champion. That's just my prediction. Tiffany Stratton. She talked to Mackenzie Mitchell about Wendy Choo. She said after she defeats Wendy tonight in the Lights Out match, the women's division would be all about her. And that's another one. She's getting ready for the main roster too, Tiffany Stratton. She's looked great in the last couple of months. I don't think she's ready for the main roster. I think another 6 months to a year, maybe. But she's on track to be main roster bound. I think she's going to be down there. She needs at least an NXT Women's Championship reign before we start talking about Tiffany Stratton getting called up to the main roster. So, she's coming along quite nicely, and I can see that in her future as well. Blair Davenport, Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray. Then we got Tiffany Stratton, Nikita Lyons, Zoe Stark. You see that they're weeding out the weak. You see that the Triple H effect is now taking effect on NXT. The women's division with what I just mentioned, the ladies that I just mentioned, is vastly different than what was an NXT show run by Bruce Prichard. Look at the women that were on TV. Look at the women that he was pushing. They don't even measure up at all to the women that I just mentioned. You got a mix of old and new. You got a mixture of veterans and rookies. It's the way it should be. Nobody's going to get over when you put rookie in there with rookie. Everybody's going to look like a fucking disaster. You see how Triple H is changing things slowly but surely, rearranging the pieces, getting them where they need to be, and then we're going to hit a hard reset on NXT. Whatever it's going to be, it may still be 2.0, but it might not be operating as 2.0. It's going to be different. After Worlds Collide, it's going to be different. Tony D'Angelo with Stocks talked about Legado del Fantasma and how unimpressed he was. He said, minus, Santos, gone, fired. They reluctantly followed him and left the backstage area as they went to the ring. He wanted to give them a test tonight. So he put them out there in a tag team match. JD McDonough, we got a vignette. He said he thinks he enjoyed the pain from Bron Breakker more than Bron did. He said he would never be challenged if he ran from difficult situations. He said he'd see Breakker at Worlds Collide. The camera pulled back, flipped over, revealing that McDonough was hanging from a chin-up bar by his feet. He's going to see Bron Breakker at Worlds Collide. So we could really, like I said, I'm sticking to my prediction. If he said that, making threats about that, showing up at Worlds Collide, he'll see Bron Breakker at Worlds Collide. I see Tyler Bate winning the NXT title, and we get JD McDonough continuing a feud with Tyler Bate for the NXT title. So basically, we're getting NXT UK on NXT 2.0, which is more black and gold than what NXT was doing for the black and gold. Can't hate on it. Can't hate on it. So he's already making threats to Bron Breakker ahead of Worlds Collide. So, Indi Hartwell. She lost to Blair Davenport. She was at ringside. She was sitting there with a microphone in hand, and she said, "So this is what rock bottom feels like." She said the problem wasn't Blair Davenport. It's always been me. It's always been Indi Hartwell. She said 4 months ago, she was going to reinvent herself and reach for the stars and change her career. She said she was still in the same position she was after Stand and Deliver. She's complaining about how things didn't change, and she's down on her luck, and she's down in the dumps. Behind her, all of a sudden, we see Dexter Lumis crawl out from underneath the ring wearing the same hoodie that we've seen him in for the last 3 weeks on Monday Night Raw as he's stalking The Miz, AJ Styles, Tommaso Ciampa, stalking Monday Night Raw. Standing there in the aisleway, people are oohing and eyeing. Indi turns around, and she crawls into the ring like Dexter Lumis crawls into the ring. He crawled into the ring. They meet in the center of the ring. They hug, they kiss. Index is back together. We got a big Index chant inside the Performance Center. Wade said he needed a bucket because he was going to be sick. Somewhere Beth Phoenix was smiling from ear to ear. All of a sudden, he carries Indi Hartwell up the aisleway and into the back. They stop near the front of the building. And outside the building, all you see is flashing police lights. He hands Indi Hartwell a note. He says, "See you soon. I love you forever," with a little heart. And then he walks out the front door, and the cops meet him out there, and Dexter Lumis is arrested. So I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. It means, to me, that I think Indi Hartwell is getting called up to the main roster. I think Dexter Lumis and Indi Hartwell are going to be together on the main roster. I don't see why they wouldn't do this if that was the case. Or maybe it's nothing, and that this is the motivation that Indi Hartwell needed to now jumpstart her career in NXT. But she really hasn't done much of anything. And she's not all that exciting, if you're asking me honestly. But Dexter Lumis is a babyface here. Index is a babyface group. Unless she's going to be a vigilante like Dexter Lumis and turn heel, I don't see how this is going to work. But Dexter Lumis is a babyface on NXT. He is not a babyface on Monday Night Raw. Not at least from what we saw. He got some decent cheers in Toronto last night when he fucking kidnapped The Miz. We don't know where the fucking Miz is right now. His body may be floating up the East River for all we know. His body may be laying in a fucking ditch somewhere. What did they arrest him for? What is he being charged with? Where is The Miz? I love the continuity from Monday to Tuesday. I thought this was great. This was great stuff. But Indi Hartwell, sounds like to me, looks like to me, she may be on her way to the main roster, but I don't know how that makes sense, how they're going to make sense of that. If Dexter's being a heel on the main roster, what is Indi Hartwell going to do for a heel Dexter Lumis? Guess we're going to have to wait and see, man. Or maybe it's really nothing, and maybe it was just a goodbye, like I said. Maybe it just jumpstarts her career. Mackenzie Mitchell She talked to Cora Jade. Jade bragged about her dirty win last week at Heatwave over dummy Roxanne Perez. Oh, I can't hit you. I have this kendo stick, but I can't hit you. Okay, I'll put it down. And then she gets blasted. Like a dumb idiot. She gets blasted. And then she loses. Dumb babyface syndrome. Roxanne Perez. She said if the roles were reversed, they would be saying Jade doesn't deserve it, which she probably is correct. She told her haters to go on a date and know their inflatable dolls don't count. She said people were complaining that it should have been a DQ. I didn't complain that it should have been a DQ. I complained that the Mandy Rose Zoe Stark match should have been a DQ. Mandy Rose intentionally used a knee brace that she physically took off of Zoe Stark's leg. I mentioned nothing about Cora Jade being DQ'd. Roxanne Perez brought the fucking kendo stick into the match, not Cora Jade. Cora Jade was just a smart one to take advantage of a dummy Roxanne Perez. I know she's not talking about me in this show. She told her haters who said it should have been a DQ to go on a date and know their inflatable dolls don't count. And then she left, and that was the end of the segment. So pretty much telling everybody in the Performance Center that they're old, crusty, decrepit, degenerate virgins. That's what she's saying. She seems a little bit more comfortable. I've mentioned this a couple of weeks now. A lot more comfortable on the microphone. Definitely better heel work than babyface work, and definitely better promo as a heel as Cora Jade. So it's good to see that she is advancing. Now we just need to get the in-ring ability up to par. Legado. This is Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. They went up against the Dyad, Rip Fowler, and Jagger Reed. Sounds like they should be playing for an alternative rock band. Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed, or a fucking hair metal band. Who named these fucking guys, man? What do you think they're thinking, man? Oh, fuck, Triple H is in charge now. Triple H is in charge. He would have never killed the grizzled young veterans. Now they're sitting there with fucking Illuminati hand signals. And they got one eye. They got this fucking Resident Evil 4, vibe to them. So, this match went 5 minutes. Legado did not get the victory. This was a test. Tony D wanted to test Legado because Santos is gone. It's on the main roster, or at least going to the main roster. That's what's being rumored. So, the Dyad, they were in control here. They were on the outside. Del Toro kind of was the recipient here. He was on the outside, and they were getting beat up. Del Toro and Wilde. Wilde got dumped. Fowler hit a tope. Dyad took out Del Toro on the outside as well. Then they hugged each other, because that's exactly what Joe Gacy has turned these guys into, hugging geeks. Cameron Grimes was watching from the eagle perch above the timekeeper's area. Wilde fought back, hit a DDT on Jagger Reed. Big lariat. Tagged in Cruz del Toro. Double suplex by Del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. Fowler broke up the pin attempt off the double suplex. So, Wilde rolled up Reed out of nowhere for a 2. All of a sudden, a blind tag by the Dyad was made. They hit their double team jawbreaker finish, and that was pretty much the end of it. They beat Legado in about 5 minutes. Really nothing to it. All of a sudden, D'Angelo was out there at the end of the match yelling at them, saying, "Why are you crying? Stop crying." He didn't get the job done with his boys, so now he's blaming them. Obviously, they lost. Nothing on Tony's fault. No, it's not Tony D'Angelo's fault. So, all of a sudden, they go to the back, and Santos Escobar, he pulls up driving an SUV. He sees Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Elektra Lopez. They're in the parking lot leaving the Performance Center. He lowers the window, tells them I'm not going to leave without you. This is what La Familia does. They stick together. Escobar tells them to get in the SUV, and they go away. So Santos Escobar, after days of asking, are they bringing Santos to the main roster? They're bringing Santos to the main roster, but why would you bring Santos to the main roster and not include Legado del Fantasma? Why wouldn't you include Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde with Elektra Lopez? Seemingly, this is what Triple H did. Or Shawn Michaels, whoever the fuck is booking this show. Now, maybe it's still Bruce. We don't know. Bruce is not that bright. Maybe this was a directive from Triple H. I want all four of these people on the main roster. Let's get it done. I'm not taking one and not the others. So basically what they did is they ran away from home. They ran away from Daddy D'Angelo. They don't want to be a part of Tony D'Angelo's family anymore. They hitched a ride with Santos, and they're going up to Stamford, Connecticut. That's where they're going. They're making that long drive in that beautiful SUV up to Stamford, Connecticut to meet Papa H as they sign main roster contracts. So what they did is made sense of it all. Why keep them down there when Santos is getting called to the main roster? It doesn't make any sense. They are more valuable together. Who is Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro by themselves? Tony D'Angelo, love him, he's not Santos. Santos is their leader. Santos is their family. They're stronger together. Who's Elektra Lopez? She hasn't really materialized into anything. She's better by association. Call them up. They are better together. They are stronger together. So this was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, NXT's way of writing them off television without really having to do much of anything. Santos never left. He left last week. He got banished from NXT, showed up tonight. Hey, I didn't leave yet. Get in the car. We're going together. I love it. It's great. Put them all on SmackDown. Let's start getting SmackDown some roster depth. Because apparently the draft is not happening. The draft is not happening yet. So if we get some call-ups here in the next couple of weeks to a month, and we start stacking SmackDown, I think SmackDown's going to be a major player. And then it'll at least alleviate the need for a draft. Right now, they need a draft. If they don't do a draft, if they don't add anybody and then they don't do a draft, SmackDown's not going to last till when USA Network wants to do the draft. And they're thinking about the draft after WrestleMania, which should have been the case for years. That's what makes a Raw after WrestleMania. So they're hitting the proverbial reset button legitimately, what should be the reset button after WrestleMania with a draft. That's what's being rumored. Change. What didn't make sense in the Vince McMahon era is now all of a sudden about to happen and make sense in the Triple H era. They need roster on SmackDown. So if they add 4 or 5 members of the NXT roster to SmackDown, that will ease the pain, and they will be able to get through the next few months of television. Get through Survivor Series, get through the Royal Rumble, get through WrestleMania season, start booking some shit on SmackDown to get to WrestleMania. We'll be good to go. But if they don't add anybody and then don't do a draft, SmackDown's not going to survive all the way till after WrestleMania. It's not possible. Tyler Bate, Von Wagner. This was the co-main event of tonight's show. This was a great match. It went about 10 minutes, and this was a very, very good match between these two guys. I love Tyler Bate. I think he's awesome. Always been a big fan of his. Von Wagner's starting to grow on me. This was very much a David versus Goliath match. Von Wagner's he's a big guy. He's a big guy, but I don't want to hear about, oh, this match shouldn't have been booked. Oh, Tyler Bate looks too small on there. No. Now, you're not going to use that excuse. Tyler Bate did the same thing with Walter and made an absolutely incredible match. One of the best matches in WWE history. Tyler Bate and Walter had back at, which takeover was that? All those takeovers ago in the UK. Awesome. Unbelievable match. So I don't want to hear that he's too small. He plays his role very well, and he's very much in the realization that he's going to be a lot smaller than everybody's in the ring with. So, Wagner is manhandling Bate at the start. Stone is out there ordering Wagner to throw Bate out of the ring. Bate starts to come back, leaps to him, leaping over the ropes into a dive to the outside. Wagner was Cardiff. Takeover Cardiff. Unbelievable Cardiff show. Takeover Cardiff was incredible. So, Tyler Bate comes back, leaps over the ropes into a dive to the outside. Wagner cuts off Bate. Wagner again manhandles Bate. Bate continues to fight back, making that babyface comeback. Bate slingshots off the ropes into a lariat, takes Wagner down to a knee. Bate goes for another slingshot. Wagner gets back to his feet to catch Bate with a huge move, knocks him out. Bate counters a chokeslam, and he nails Wagner with a bob and bang, left jab, and a Cabo kick by Tyler Bate to Von Wagner. He follows up with a suplex on Wagner, positions Wagner for the finish of the match. Bate leaps off the top rope, lands a twisting corkscrew senton on Wagner, and that was enough for Tyler Bate to get the victory over Von Wagner. Von Wagner threw his weight around. He was manhandling him for a little bit. There was a nice lariat in there, turned him inside out. But, you know, you get the bob and bang, and then you get that Cabo kick by Bate. It's pretty much the end of the line. You start to see stars after that, and then goodbye. You know, you go for the twisting senton, then you do the Tyler Driver 97. It's all she wrote for Tyler Bate. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Very much looking forward to what he does with Bron Breakker. It may end up being the best match that Bron Breakker has on the NXT roster before he moves to the main roster. Roderick Strong. He was in the back arguing with the Creeds. And they were interrupted by Briggs and Jensen. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. The Creeds hold the NXT Tag Team Championship. Briggs and Jensen hold the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. This leads to a challenge for the titles at Worlds Collide. So another unification match is set. We still may end up getting Pretty Deadly and Gallus added to that. We don't know yet. We still got another week of television before we get to the Worlds Collide show that September 4th, Labor Day weekend. And then we get to the main event. Wendy Choo. She goes one-on-one in a lights-out match with Tiffany Stratton. This was actually very fun. This was a lights-out match, and I didn't know what the lights-out match was going to be. I didn't know if it was unsanctioned, if this was not really going to be on record for WWE, if it was just something that they were kind of following in line with what AEW does with their lights-out unsanctioned matches. We didn't know. But all it was a match that played into the gimmick of Wendy Choo, who loves to have sleepovers. She wrestles in her pajamas. So lights out means legitimately lights out. They wrestled with faint purple light, and it looked fun. And I thought it was pretty creative. I really did. And this was a fun match. So Tiffany Stratton dressed for a street fight. She looked great. She still looked like Tiffany Stratton, but she had her hair braided up like she was getting ready for a fucking UFC fight. I thought it looked good. She looks fantastic. And then Wendy Choo, she wrestled in not her usual pajamas. She got a special entrance. She was laying in bed in the back. She got up. She took a sip out of her sippy cup. She takes off her pajamas. Get your mind out of the gutter, geeks. To unveil herself in boy short pajamas that has cookies on them. So she wore, I guess, proper attire outside of her pajamas that still fit into her gimmick, that are comfortable enough to have a street fight in. There you go. So, after the special entrance, we got the bell ringing, and the lights dim. It's lights out. And if you guys remember, who used to wrestle with this? Who used to wrestle with this purple light? It was like Sin Cara, right? Sin Cara used to wrestle with this purple light. Vince always had to dim the lights because Sin Cara was wrestling on the main roster. He wrestled in this fucking ridiculous purple light. It's exactly what it looked like. Best way for me to detail it for you and describe it to you. Just think back to what Sin Cara wrestled in. It's exactly what happened here. So, the brawl happened right at the start of the match. Choo dumps a trash can on Stratton. Choo then hits the trash can with a tennis racket, pretending that she's Jim Cornette. And more weapons are in the match. We get a toolbox, and we get the audience asking for a table. They brawl, and there is a moonsault attempt by Tiffany Stratton. She goes for a moonsault. She misses. It looked great in execution, but nobody was home. So Choo was on defense here. After the moonsault, this created some separation for Wendy Choo. Stratton is dropped onto the folding chair that is in the middle of the ring with a brainbuster. Choo then chokes Stratton with a spare piece of a turnbuckle that somehow got loose. Stratton crawls towards her purse. She grabs an aerosol can out of her purse, and Stratton sprays Choo in the face with this unknown substance. Might have been compressed air at that point. I don't know. Stratton then powerbombs Choo on a trash can. She destroys the trash can in the process. Choo manages to kick out after Stratton goes for a cover. So Choo, she goes and retrieves the pillow that she usually brings down to the ring. She hits Tiffany Stratton with this pillow. The pillow is loaded. The pillow is loaded with Legos. Loose Lego pieces. So Tiffany Stratton goes down, and the pillowcase is then unzipped, and Wendy Choo dumps out all these Legos, all these loose pieces of Legos on the mat. Now, if you ask me, it's just as bad as thumbtacks. Nobody wants a thumbtack sticking in your arm, right? Right side up. And nobody wants to step on a Lego. I know you guys have stepped on a Lego or two in your lifetime. Believe me, it sucks. I can only imagine being slammed onto a fucking Lego or a 1,000 Legos. So, after all the Legos are laid out on the mat, they're in one big pile. Stratton gives Choo a fallaway slam that looked ridiculous because she missed all the Lego pieces. All these Lego pieces that are in the ring. Stratton went for a fallaway slam on the Legos, and she missed all the Legos. So the crowd was asking one more time. So clearly they had to do it another time to get it and get the spot across. So she picks up Choo and scoops Choo up and slams Choo on the Legos with a body slam. Stratton, I believe she does a spine buster on the Legos as well. So she goes for her purse, and she is going for her purse, and this backfired on her. Stratton reached into her purse and got this powdery substance. Might have been some makeup substance. She wanted to throw this makeup substance in Wendy Choo's eyes. Obviously, it backfired on her. Wendy Choo reversed it and went into Tiffany Stratton's face. And Stratton is then all of a sudden put through a bed that was on the outside. This bed that Wendy Choo used in her entrance was laid out in the aisleway. She spine busts Tiffany Stratton through the bed frame, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the end of the line for Tiffany Stratton. So Wendy Choo rolled her in the ring. She does this big splash off the top rope, this inverted Vader bomb, and Choo gets the 1, 2, 3 on Tiffany Stratton, and that realistically should be the end of this ridiculous feud with Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Choo on NXT. That was the last thing we saw. The last match of the night. Fun match. The episode did not end with them, though. The episode ended with Meiko Satamura, Mandy Rose, and Blair Davenport signing their contract for the NXT Women's Championship match at Worlds Collide. And then Tyler Bate and Bron Breakker signing their contract for their world title match at Worlds Collide. And that's the way NXT went off the air. Decent little show, man. Not anything that was going to blow you away, but it was a decent little show. And they managed to really build a notable show for Worlds Collide. And, just a couple of weeks. We got all this kind of coming about last week just out of nowhere. NXT Europe is now a thing. NXT UK is dead. They sent all the NXT UK folk that they want to keep here to the States, put them on last week's show, kind of teased Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide's coming about this week. We got one more week, and WWE's putting together a nice little show here. Nice little card for Worlds Collide. The action wasn't even the biggest part of tonight's show. It was about letting you know that Worlds Collide is going to be a unification of both NXT and NXT UK. And then we got two really good matches in the end, in that last hour. Von Wagner, Tyler Bate, and then Wendy Choo and Tiffany Stratton. They're showing you focus on the NXT UK talent that's going to be on NXT here and really be a part of the brand moving forward. So to me, it was a successful show. It's nothing crazy, nothing that I'm going to sit here and tell you, oh my God, it was the best show ever. But it was a successful show because they got across multiple different things that they wanted you to know. Anyway, guys, that is all I got for you. We are going to get into the Super Chats in just a second. Thank you guys very much for joining me, man. 661 likes. I'm going to need at least 100 more, guys. 750 is the goal. 750 is the goal. Super Chats are open. Get them on in. We're going to hang out with our cold beverages in just a second. Become a channel member. Still 50% off for the month of August. Go check that out. Hit the join button. Become a channel member. And go check out all the other videos they might have missed on the channel, man. Tons of it. Live on Sunday for episode 441 and live last night for Monday Night Raw, man. Johnny Gargano is back in WWE. We talked all about it last night on the Raw Post Show. Tonight's show sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Shout out to Raid Shadow Legends and them sponsoring the show tonight. And follow me on social media, guys, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hurley Jones with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Hurley Jones. I appreciate you, brother. What's up, JD? You are the man. Shout out to you, Hurley Jones, and also for becoming a new member. Real Metalhead 21 with a $5 super chat. Just wondering how you feel about After the Burial, one of my favorites. I'll take an old-fashioned. Real Metalhead, I have not listened to it yet, bro. I've not listened to After the Burial yet, man. You know what I'm excited for? Friday. Machine Head's new album comes out, man. I'm excited for it. I heard that it is just as good as not The Gathering, that's Testament. The Blackening. I'll reserve judgment, man, but from what I heard so far, Machine Head is back. Bushi Clementine and Brandon O Productions with a new membership. Thank you guys very much. What the fuck are you guys drinking? Gary the New Man with a $5 super chat. Tyler Bate has only put on banger after banger ever since he got to NXT UK. His matches versus Walter and Pete Dunne are legendary. Yes, they are. That's why I'm taking him to win the NXT title. Sidro. Sidro with another joke and a $5 super chat. How does Michelle McCool sleep at night? Undertaker. Hashtag your favorite comedian. Hashtag I did it for the walk. Hashtag JD the GOAT. Sidro, you're the best, bro. Hey, yo, Joey Bombshell over here with a $2 super chat. He's joining Santos. Bruce is a clown, says Joey Bombshell. Indeed. Bruce is a fucking clown, Joey Bombshell. You got that correct, bro. Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. NXT in 2018 was the best year ever. Indeed. All those years, man, you can't replace them. Never to be duplicated. Paul Robles says, I need to get a I did it for the walk t-shirt. What type of t-shirt design would that be, bro? I did it for the walk. People would look at that as a racist overtone, man. Racist connotations. Oh, JD is racist. JD is discriminatory towards Asians. Jordan Plays with a $2 super chat. So Santos is taking all Legado to SmackDown. Yes, to me anyway, that's what it looks like. That's what needs to be done, Jordan. It's the right move. Matt Eagle with a $4.99 super chat. Bruce should have his own special on Comedy Central. I've never heard of anything more outrageous and hilarious. Bro, Bruce is a liar. Bruce Prichard is a fucking liar, bro. Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. JD, I will take some cinnamon fireball whiskey. You're the only one drinking that shit, Joseph Taylor. Nobody likes that shit anymore, man. It's a fad and a trend that died. I'll get you whatever you want, bro, but only sleazy people drink fireball whiskey, bro. You gotta be a real man and drink real whiskey. Bourbon. Sidro with a $5 super chat. He's got two of them. He's got one. Actually, no, there's two jokes here. He says, why was WrestleMania 29 the low point of John Cena's career? Because he hit rock bottom. That actually makes more sense than funny, Sidro. But the other one here, why can't Marty Jannetty get a decent haircut? He's always trying to escape through the barber shop window. I like that one. I like that one, man. One of the greatest, most iconic moments of all time. The barbershop window. Mega Man with a $5 super chat. If anyone asks you when Bray Wyatt is returning, cut them off. Last call them and get them out of here. Mega Man, Bray Wyatt's returning, in my honest opinion, in October. Go Dogs with a 2-month membership. I love Blair Davenport. I think she has a ton of potential. So do I. I think she looks great, man. I love the look. I love the mistress look, man. It's quite hot. Bushi Clementine with a $10 super chat. Was able to catch about 10 minutes of the show at work. Wagner and Bate enjoyed it, not even knowing who either man was. Wagner reminds me of Bradshaw and Damian Priest for some reason. He's got that look. He's got that look. That's a good summation there, Bushi Clementine. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? Decent NXT tonight. Very good Raw last night. So happy Johnny Gargano's back, and screw the people who think he can't cut a promo. Bro, fuck those people, man. They're a bunch of fucking geeks. Johnny Gargano got a standing ovation last night with loud Johnny wrestling chants, and he even got baby wrestling chants for his son. Ricky Wizard 777 with a $31 Australia-mite super chat. Hey, Mr. Best in the business, if you don't see them bringing back the World Heavyweight title, how about a complete redesign of the women and Universal titles? I can't take them seriously. They look putrid. Yeah, Ricky Wizard, they're not changing the main titles, bro. And the reason why they don't like changing the main titles, or why they won't change the main titles, is because the WWE logo is so front and center. You know it's the WWE title. Just the way it is, man. They want that logo. They want that World Wrestling Entertainment logo front and center, bro. Furious Nation with a $15 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Also, Blair Davenport is awesome. Think Blair is best friends with Tony Storm, if not mistaken. And have you heard of Aoife Valkyrie from NXT UK? She is very impressive and is 25 years old from Dublin. No, I have not, bro. I may have to look her up. Let's see what she looks like. Let's see if she's JD approved here. Let's see. She's not bad. She's actually pretty attractive. She looks tiny, though. She is 25 years old from Dublin. Yes. I don't know if she's going to be brought over. I don't know. We'll see what happens. A lot of those women, a lot of those men were cut. Tenario 128 with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? Can I get a put the lotion in the baskets? Oh, you want it in a robot voice. You want it in a robot voice. All right.
Put the lotion in the baskets, Von Wagner.
Anything for my VIPs. Thank you, Tenario. Christy Wilson with a 199 super chat. I think Bate vs. Breakker will be a banger. Indeed it will, Christy. Furious Nation with a $50 super chat. In your opinion, when Ilya Dragunov recovers from injury, do you see him going to NXT or do you see him going right to Raw or SmackDown? Also, hopefully Legado is SmackDown bound. And do you think Legado are all leaving NXT together was a statement by Triple H? Yes, I do. I do. And I see Ilya Dragunov going to NXT first and then to the main roster. He's going to need he doesn't need any time down in NXT, but for all we know, he may be brought to the main roster. We don't know. I know Triple H ain't letting him go. He's way too good. He's what Walter was to NXT UK. They ain't letting him go. And yes, Legado leaving was a statement for sure. Tenario 128 with a $5 super chat. What's up again, JD? Did you ever watch Sopranos? And did you ever see Saints of New York? Or Saints of Newark? Tenario, I never watched one episode of The Sopranos. Never. And I did not watch Saints of Newark. The next thing that I engulf myself in is Better Call Saul. Jesse told me to. Jesse said so. Jordan Plays with a $5 super chat. You may think this sounds crazy, but I think Tiffany Stratton has some serious main roster superstar level potential like Charlotte Flair. She's going to be good, man. I'm a big Tiffany Stratton guy. Joey Bombshell with a $2 super chat. I've been watching you since 2018. Thank you, Joey Bombshell. It's 4 years of absolute greatness, bro. Charles Jerome with a $5 super chat. Don't know if anyone thought about this, but Symphony number 9 returns for Gunther/Walter at Clash of the Castle. Currently manifesting that. Also, hashtag OTS for life. Bro, if that happens, I'm marking the fuck out. Honestly, it should have never even been taken away from him. I don't know why they took that away from him. You could have easily redid that song in your own image, in your own way, and gave it to him now. Whatever they have him now with sucks. And Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. Aofi Valkyrie is 5'6". It's my type of height. My type of height. Small and compact. I like him even shorter than that. Anyway, guys, we're about to get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all so very much. We had a fun time here. Nice rant on Bruce. Comedy Hour with Bruce Prichard. You can thank Bruce Prichard for the bullshit. Talked NXT UK and what happened on tonight's show. NXT 2.0, what happened on tonight's show. I appreciate you guys very much, man. Tomorrow, we will be live on Off the Script with the AEW Dynamite post show, man. It is going to be an absolute banger of an episode. Absolutely off the chains tomorrow. Eugene, I can't stay a little longer, bro. Destiny has its new season out, Season of the Plunder. I have to get involved, bro. I got my Thunderlord Catalyst I have to level up. I got new gear to grind for. I got a dungeon to do. I got some Gambit to play. Can't do it, bro. I gave NXT enough of my time tonight, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. AEW Dynamite. Jesse and I will be in the venue. It's going to be awesome. Punk Moxley. Possible MJF appearance. What does TK have up his sleeve? It should be good. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. It's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Also, make sure you guys go check out Raid Shadow Legends. I'm going to be posting that link in the comment section down below and at the very top of the description. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications, and go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Guys, I need those Mustang emojis in the chat from my VIPs. I need those guitar emojis in the chat. And I need that music on max. I will see you guys tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.